Hello, you're welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to go through step-by-step procedure in discussing your results. In the previous video, we looked at the guidelines and the principles outline how to discuss your results. And I made mention of the fact that you need your results in order to be able to do that. So I have a results here that we are going to use to discuss and go through this video. The next thing I told you to have is that you need a referencing tool. So I have my Mendeley here, which I'm going to use in referencing and cite every literature that I use in the discussion of the results. Now with these two items that you have, and the last thing you need is a lot of literature. So I have some literature here that I'm going to use to go through this particular video. All right, now quickly, I want us to look at the aim of this particular study. Now, this is a study that is aimed at identifying the factors contributing to the upsurge of teenage pregnancy in a particular community in Ashanti region. And there are some research questions. If you remember, you are supposed to use the research questions or the objective of the study and follow it systematically for your readers to be able to follow through how you are discussing your results. Again, so I have this written here for the purpose of this video. You are not supposed to repeat this in your results section. This is not necessary, but I'm bringing them here for the purpose of this video so that you can follow through. All right, so first of all, in this results section, the first thing I should do is to interpret these results. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to take these results to be able to discuss it in order for us to follow through. So quickly, if I look at these results, I can see that there is a particular age range as far as the demographic characteristics of the participants are concerned. All right, so the age range is from 12 to 14, 15 to 17, 18 to 19. So I'll look at the highest frequency as far as the age range is concerned, and that is 15 to 17 years. Okay, and the frequency is 64 out of 108, and that is 57.7%. So I can come to my results section, just copy this one, copy this age range, come to my results section, and then set it here. That's a substantial majority of the participants. Okay, I want to spell that right. Of the participants in this study were aged, then I put the age range there, 18 to 19 years. Then I copy the percentage here, only the percentage is needed. Okay, then I put the percentage there like this, as you see. So a substantial majority of the participants in this study were aged 18 to 19 years. This was as a result of the inclusion criteria. Okay, so I'm trying to explain why there is a higher number of adolescents or people aged between this. So as a result of the inclusion criteria, which was for participants who are aged between, then I'm just using an example, maybe between 12 to 20, maybe 12 to 20 years. Now this is not still the major reason why I'm getting this higher number. I could also continue that the study was conducted among SHS and JHS students. However, so I bring it here. However, there was a higher turn-up of participants, particularly in the senior high schools. All right, so right here I'm trying to give the reason why. I want to edit this. So I'm trying to give the reason why majority of my participants are within this particular age range. Okay, now this is not enough. I need to then compare it with existing literature. So what I'll do is that I'll quickly come to this particular study I have here, and this study was conducted by Tebogo, okay, and I think they did it in South Africa. Where they did it is not so much important, but I look at the aim. The topic said that factors contributing to teenage pregnancy in the Capricorn district of Limpopo province. They are looking at the factors contributing to teenage pregnancy, and I can get the aim from the abstract here. The purpose of the study was to identify factors contributing to teenage pregnancy in one village in Capricorn. Now, if you come back to my aim, you could see that I'm also looking at factors, identifying the factors contributing to the upsurge of teenage pregnancy in a rural community. So this study really fits into what I'm doing, but I want to look at the results presented on their age. So here I'll see that their findings were classified as demographic data, where 24% of the respondents were aged between 15 to 16 years. Okay, they only reported this. Then 76% were aged 17 to 19 years. Now, if you see something like this, 76% indicates a higher percentage of the participants that were aged between 17 to 19 years, which agrees with what I have. So I can copy this information. I can just copy. Let me do that quickly. I'll just highlight this one, then use Control C, copy it, and then bring it to my discussion. I can paste it anywhere here. Okay, so I can then say that this agrees with a study conducted by, I will leave a dash here and come back, conducted by this on the factors contributing to teenage pregnancy. Now I want you to observe very carefully teenage pregnancy. Then I'll say that I'll put a full stop. In their study, 76% of the participants were aged between 17 to 19 years. 17 to 19 years. Remember, in my study here, 57.7%, representing a higher percentage, were aged 18 to 19 years. And theirs is 17 to 19 years, which is closer to what I have. And this is why I say that this agrees with the study that was conducted. Now, I want to put the authors here. Now, to do that, I will still come back to my study and I can quickly reference the study. And to come here, remember I said that you need to get a reference into. So I'll come to the reference section here. You can get the reference section at this side, the reference, and then I already have Mendeley here. So I'll click on Mendeley and bring my Mendeley pop-up. Then, in order to pull out this study, I can just pick the name of the one of the authors. But remember, I already have this study in my Mendeley. Okay, the study is already cited in my Mendeley, or I've already put it into my Mendeley. And so when I search it, I can, voila, you can see that the study is here. Factors contributing to teenage pregnancy. There you go. I can quickly just insert it there. So I have the name Motibo, okay, and Motibo is the surname. So I can just copy this one over here again, and I already stated that this agrees with the study conducted by, so I want to put it here, conducted by Motibo, then I put this particular bracket around it, Motibo, and make sure I edit it well. So it reads, this study, or this agrees with the study conducted by Motibo et al. I can italicize this one as well to make it proper. On the factors contributing to teenage pregnancy, then I state exactly what they found in their study. So in their study, 76% of the participants were aged between 17 to 19 years. And this is how you discuss your results. I get it. Remember that I've stated the reason why there is a higher percentage of participants in this age category. Then I compared it with an existing study, and then I stated what they found. Once you have done this, then you have properly discussed the section of what? Age. Now, the next thing that we quickly want to go on is to go back to our results again I will jump this section. This is just on the demographics. I will jump this section and go to the first objective. Now, the first objective is looking at the attitude, perception, and level of knowledge of teenagers on sexual reproductive health and conceptive use. Yes, I could see that you are looking at age range in relation to young knowledge on reasons for teenage pregnancy. And some of them said that it is because of peer pressure. Some of them said it's because of ignorance. Others said it is because of social sciences, then drug abuse. So in the age range 12 to 14 years, majority of them said it is because of ignorance. When you come to the age range of 15 to 17 years, majority of them also said it is what? Ignorance. Now for those that are aged 18 to 19 years, majority of them also responded the same over here. 50% also said it is 18 to 19 years. Now it means that most of them are saying that the reason why people enter into teenage pregnancy is as a result of ignorance. And I can quickly talk on this. So if I come to this section, I could say that the majority of the participants in this present study agreed that the upsurge of teenage pregnancy is as a result of ignorance on the part of teenagers. Then I asked myself, why is it that most of them are talking about the fact that ignorance leads to teenage pregnancy? Now I could go back to look at their demographics again. I want to find a reason. I could go back and look at their demographic information again. Give a reason such as the place where the study is conducted is within a rural community where information about teenage pregnancy is not really talked about. These are reasons I could give as to why majority of them are stating this. So I could just write it here that the study was conducted within a rural community where information regarding sexuality and prevention is not readily available to teenagers. This makes individuals, or I could say this makes teenagers lack a body of knowledge. Knowledge when it comes to information regarding their sexual health. So right here, I'm giving the reason why majority of the participants are saying that it is out of ignorance that they enter into teenage pregnancy. Okay, now I am not done. And so right after discussing these results, giving this information, the next thing that you want to do is that you want to find a study that reported on the knowledge of students or the knowledge of teenagers on sexual reproductive health. So you can come to your web browser, maybe open PubMed. Okay, you can open PubMed to see if you get studies there, and I can search for knowledge of teenagers on teenage pregnancy and see if I'll get some studies over there. Now I'll just wait to see if there are studies that have been conducted in this area, knowledge of teenagers on. Then I'll search through if there is any study on that, teenage pregnancy prevention, the role of young men. I could open this one, views of teenagers toward teenage pregnancy. Now this is perfect emotional. So I'm looking at this study. The aim of their study was to gain understanding of the views of teenagers towards teenage pregnancy in the Capricorn District, Limpopo. This is a different study, and it was a qualitative, explorative, and descriptive study. The findings show that peer pressure lack of knowledge on sexual issues, social media, and inadequate parental guidance and support, poor blah blah blah, all these were found to contribute to increased number of teenage pregnancy. So even though it doesn't really talk about ignorance, but I can see lack of knowledge. I get me. Lack of knowledge contributed to increased teenage pregnancy, and the study is looking at the views of the teenagers, and we have reported lack of knowledge. So I could use this particular study to support my findings here. I get me. And in order to do that, I'll come back to the study. Then I will say that first of all, I want to reference this study, obviously. After referencing it, I can then come and copy the name of one of the authors. I could just paste the name here, okay, then do et al, then put the year into bracket 2023. So I can say that this particular authors, Mushwana et al, 2023, conducted a study on the views of teenagers. Okay, let me get the topic right. On the views of teenagers on teenage pregnancy. So Mushwana et al conducted a study on the views of teenage pregnancy, which is consistent with the findings of this present study. Now, in their study, poor knowledge, okay, and I want to know exactly what they stated. So they stated that lack of knowledge, if I may say so, I think I found it here. In their study, I think it had to do with poor knowledge or lack of knowledge on sexual issues. That is what I want to talk about. So in their study, poor knowledge regarding sexual related information was found to be a major contributory factor to the upsurge of teenage pregnancy. So notice that I didn't really write exactly how they place it because of plagiarism. I need to put it in my own words and also make sure that it flows with my study. Okay, then right after that, if I have already brought it into Mendeley, then I'll use Mendeley to reference it and I'll have the reference there, but I haven't done that yet. So I can put this one here for the sake of illustration. So let's just say I've used Mendeley to reference it over here. Now with this, I have referenced or I have discussed this particular portion of the results. So when I come here, the results on their attitude, perception, and level of knowledge, this particular table, information here, I have discussed them. So if you look at how I went through the discussion for each of them, this is exactly how you're supposed to discuss your results. The last thing I want to say is that when you come to the results or when you come to the discussion, you make sure that you don't just use only one literature. Okay, at least get two literature. If Motiba et al. Found results that are consistent, did you also find another results on a literature in which majority of the teenagers or majority of the participants probably were aged between 12 to 14 years? Just to bring that kind of consistency and inconsistency, and it makes your discussion very, very rich. The same for everywhere you discuss, at least find two literature that was conducted. If you can't find it, then probably one will do, but at least find two. You can find even two or more, and it makes your discussion stronger. It gives a stronger point to what you are discussing and make your study very, very viable. So with this, we come to the end of our discussion.